Got these plastic trays with some pens that I ordered, and I really like the shape of these trays. So what I'm going to do is, with a sharp knife, take the ends off them, like this, going all the way around. And then can you guess what I'm going to do with them? Now's your time to put a comment in to see if you know what I'm going to do with them. And I'm going to strip them all down so they're flat like that. And now I've got them so all the edges are taken off. What I'm going to do is divide them in half. So this is 15.5 centimeters. And you can do this with most of this type of plastic. So I'm actually going to do it, make it nice and easy for myself, going across 7.5, and then strip them down like that, measuring them. So I've got them nicely in half. And then again, a sharp blade should just take you through that. As we can see, they're not quite in half, but that's fine. I can put the sides to where I want them, and then I know which ones are taller and which ones are shorter. Well, now I've got them divided up nicely. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick these two together using just some normal sticky tape going all the way down. I want to make sure I've got a really nice join there. And I'm going to flip it over, get a nice join the other side as well. And you'll see why this is important in a second if you've not already guessed what I'm going to do with this. Right, I think that's a fairly good join. And now what I'm going to do is turn that into a circle by putting it in a join there as well and sealing that up just the same way. I've also done one that is slightly smaller that is going to go inside of that, and now I need a base for it. So what I'm going to do is cut out a base out of this normal piece of cardboard. It doesn't have to be accurate, it just needs to be round. How pretty is that little flower? And all I'm going to use for this is my scissors. I've cut it out slightly larger than what the actual thing is. Yep, fits perfect. Now I'm going to take some packing tape and cover this. Have you guessed what I'm doing yet? I'm sure you have. I think you'll like it. And when I cover this, what I'll do is make sure I cover all the way around and overlap as well, so it's completely sealed on the bottom here. So I'm happy with that. And that is nicely sealed now. And all I need to do for this one is cut it down a little bit. And I'm going to cut it down about 1 centimetre or 1/2 inch, really, all the way around. Like that. And then cut that all the way around there. Well, I've got my pot now, which is going to be the internal bit, and everything made. I've covered this in sellotape, and now I need to attach this onto here to ensure that there's a suitable gap all the way around that. And I'm going to be using double-sided sticky tape for this to attach that to there. I want to make sure it's adhered really well and that it doesn't want to float up to the top. So I'm also going to go around these edges with some. I want to make sure I get this in the right place to start with, because I want an evenish gap around the outside, and then I need to push that down as firm as I can, because I don't want that coming up or floating up in any way. I could have filled this with sand, but I then tend to make too much of a mess with it. So that's on there pretty tight, and now I can put that on there and make the pot. I've already made another one, which is the square one. I just need to put that down, and then I can cast in them, and hopefully this will work. Don't know. I've not tried it like this before. I've got some resin cream mixed up, and what I've done is I've popped these in these pots just in case they leak. I've done everything that I can think of to prevent them leaking, but I never really am 100% convinced that I do it properly. I haven't mixed quite enough up there, so I'm going to mix up some more and put that in. It is leaking a little bit around the bottom edge, but hopefully that will stop itself. So I've finished pouring them now, and there is definitely a little leak in there. I can see, because this cures up so quickly, I'm hoping it will cure up before it all leaks out. So I'm glad I put it in these pots. Must be just a tiny little leak coming out of this corner. And you can tell that because it's allowing some bubbles to keep coming through. But if we don't try these things, we don't know. So let's see what happens. Well, these have been drying now for about 2 hours, so this should be ready to take off. And I don't want to actually split the plastic, because if they've come out well, I'm going to use it again. So what I'm doing is using my knife to release it from the sellotape. And so far I quite like the shape that that's given me. It's whether I can get this bit out as well now. That's going to be the difficult part. There's a little bit of underpour in this going round, but nothing too major. I should be able to get this out by removing this cardboard and then removing any resin crate that's gone inside the actual thing that I put in the middle. So I got the middle bit of card out, and all I now need to do is get this out, and I'm going to do this in exactly the same way. I'm just going to release the tape, and then hopefully this should pull out the same way as the other one did. And it has done. There's a little bit of tape there left in the bottom from where I stuck it down. But other than that, it's left a nice big hole there. I really like that so far. Now, I won't paint them straight away because what I will want to do is to ensure that they're fully dry. So I'll leave them about 4 or 5 days. I'm just smoothing out that edge using a knife. So I'm going to see what this one looks like as well. And I will take this apart using exactly the same method. And that one's come out really well as well. So I'm going to put these somewhere nice and warm for them to dry out for a few days before I decorate, and then I'll show you how I'm going to decorate them. We can get on with painting these now that they're dry, and what I'm going to do is paint them both inside and out, and I want them to be quite garish colours. Because I like garish colours. So what I'm going to use is the electric plum purple and the shocking lime green. But before I do that, what I'm going to do first is really kind of seal these and prime them at the same time before I paint them. And it will make a big difference to this as well. What I'm going to be using is some white glue here with some water mixed into it. So it's a weak mix, and then go over and paint the resin-crete with this first. And what you'll find is that will seal it much better, and also it will stop any of the paint from peeling off once it's dry, which can happen on casting materials like this. Literally, all I'm doing is going to go in everywhere and seal it. This will absorb, because we've watered it down a little bit, this will absorb into that plaster and give it a really great seal. You can add some white paint to this if you like as well, because that will help it, but make sure it's a bit watery. I decided to paint the inside of this red because I think that will really show up. I want these to be really bright. I'm using the Arteza Shocking Lime Green here. This is what I'm going to go around and paint on the outside, right up to that line. It will take 2 coats of this, and it is always advisable to let it dry really well before you put the second coat on. These are finished now, and I have to say I'm really pleased with how they come out. I love the way the iridescence has worked for them. What a great way of just using some upcycled plastic to make something unique and genuine. And they fit plants in there really well. If you had some shorter pots as well, I think that would look good. But you could use them for anything. Pens, pencils, anything that you wanted to. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've really enjoyed making this, and I'm going to look out for other types of plastic that's been formed as well to be able to make stuff with. Boot that like button, hit that subscribe button, and be sure to check out the video that I've got coming up next in this card, which tells you how to make money using resin-crete, and you really can. I've done lots with this now, and it works really well. Take care, enjoy your crafting. Bye.